Hello everyone, welcome back. It is now Friday morning. I hope everyone's had a good week and that you have a great weekend. Well, the news just doesn't stop coming in. Yesterday I did a video on Meghan Markle and how her speech about BLM and so forth has caused issues over in Australia. And I hope that you guys had a chance to watch that video. Today, I found out that Meghan Markle gets a lashing from U.S. activist Candace Owens, and I'll tell you a little bit more about her. Disclaimer, full disclaimer can be found down below in the description box. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to start first with a little video here, so I hope you guys don't mind. It'll tell you exactly what's going on, and then we'll discuss it a little bit. This is Meghan Markle.
Black Lives Matter narrative is getting more and more ridiculous every single day.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are ready to put their full support behind...
Sorry, trying to make it larger for you. Candace Owens versus Meghan Markle.
Black Lives Matter narrative is getting more and more ridiculous every single day.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are ready to put their full support behind the Black Lives Matter movement.
The only wrong thing to say is to say nothing. George Floyd's life mattered, and so did so many other people whose names we know and whose names we do not know.
And so did so many other people whose names we know and whose names we do not know.
And so did so many other people whose names we know and whose names we do not know.
Now you get to be part of rebuilding. And I know sometimes people say, how many times do we need to rebuild? Well, you know what? We are going to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild until it is rebuilt.
We must begin the work of dismantling the whole system of oppression wherever we find it.
We are coming to dismantle this deeply oppressive, racist, sexist, violent, utterly bankrupt system of capitalism.
Rebuild and rebuild and rebuild until it is rebuilt.
All you have to do is sit down and do basic
Candace.
mathematics to discover that the entire narrative that we have been sold is a lie, okay? It's a lie. There is no racially targeted police brutality against Black Americans. In fact, if you are a white American and you commit a violent crime, you have a 25% higher chance of suffering a police fatality than Black people. Full of big celebrities who tell you Black Lives Matter, and put up a symbol while they're marching with you because they all think we're stupid. That's the truth. The left thinks we're dumb, okay?
The Black Lives Matter narrative is getting more and more ridiculous every single day. Because Black Lives Matter is in there burning down a community once again where Black people live, where Black people work, where law-abiding Black people like myself and the majority of the Black community have to sit here and suffer this BS narrative.
Is Meghan really fake and a piece of work, as I know you said before?
You know what? I'm sorry to have to say this, but I'm afraid I think she is.
I'm sure the one thing we all need most in the world right now is a fabulously rich and entitled princess lecturing us on privilege from her servant-laden royal quarters. Meanwhile, the headline for that piece referred to Markle's guest editing gig as Me, Meghan Markle's shamelessly hypocritical super woke Vogue stunt.
I am not a big fan of Miss Markle, and I'm particularly not a big fan of the way that she and Prince Harry appear to want their cake and eat it.
In people's complacency, they're complicit. Yeah. And that, I think, is the shift that we're seeing, to go, it's not enough to just be a bystander and saying, well, it wasn't me. And that's what I think was very much manifested in what you're feeling from people's outpouring surrounding the murder of George Floyd. That it wasn't that this wasn't always happening, it's that it's come to a head at a time where people just said, enough. We have to, in this moment in time, say, we're going to have to be a little uncomfortable right now, because it's only in pushing through that discomfort that we get to the other side of this. It's like growing pains. Growing pains are painful. This process is painful, and it has been for a long time. But through that immense pain, what we can have tremendous faith in is knowing that there will be growth. And that's what we're seeing happen every single day as all of you are out there campaigning, fighting the right fight, being on the right side of history, and ensuring that we can get closer to seeing this truly as our past and not something that we have to revisit again and again and again. So we thank you and commend you for your efforts on that. It is inspiring for both of us to watch and to bear witness to, and why we, of course, made the time and find it a huge honor to be able to have this time with all of you today. The only wrong thing to say is to say nothing.
So spare me your...
So that was Candace Owens, everybody, and we'll tell you a little bit about it. This is her Twitter page, and it says, "The Real Candace O. Black Lives Matter protest end with rioting, looting, and the destruction of minority communities. Brexit protest ends with 2,000 plus Black and Latino Americans singing the national anthem. This is a beautiful moment that the mainstream media won't report on." So, and it wouldn't let me do the video, but it was showing the rioting and the that broke out after these what were supposed to be peaceful protests from the BLM group and the Marxist group that support them. Now, next article, and this will be very short. It says, she's a witch. Candace Owens slams Meghan Markle and Harry for using African kids as a backdrop to moan about their privileged lives. This was dated back in, it's a little bit further back, about a year ago. But first time I've seen it. Right-wing U.S. activist Candace Owens has branded Meghan Markle a witch for using African children as a backdrop to moan about their privileged life. This is when they were doing the Australian tour. She goes on to say, Owens, 30, is an outspoken supporter of Donald Trump, lashed out at the Duchess, 38, following the explosive ITV documentary, Harry and Meghan, An African Journey. In the document, Meghan spoke candidly about her struggles to handle the pressure of the royal spotlight while on her tour of Southern Africa. American activist Owens tweeted out her fury at the former Suits actress, saying her comments she found to be very offensive. Candace Owens, the Black conservative activist who attacked Black Lives Matter and said George Floyd was not a good person. Who is Candace Owens? Well, we'll start with her husband, George Farmer. And this is him pictured on the right, and that's President Trump on the left. She is someone who used to be a very staunch Democrat. She then said that she no longer felt that the Democrats are where she fit in, and so she became a Republican. Her husband, an Englishman, George Farmer, is an Oxford University graduate and a hedge fund employee. Farmer graduated with a first in theology. He went on to the prestigious public school in St. Paul's. He was previously chairman of Turning Point UK. Farmer is an ex-Bullington club member. He is staunchly anti-EU, describing it as a toxic, socialist, genocidal superstate. Who is Candace Owens? Well, she's 31 years old, outspoken right-wing activist, and the Sunday Times said about her, they described her as being media savvy and straight shooting. Owens had hopes of becoming a journalist, but failed to complete her degree in college. Instead, she joined Vogue for a stint at the famous mag before moving into finance. Once an unknown political vlogger, she has become one of President Trump's most prominent cheerleaders and pals of the First Family, the Time explained. She has endeared herself to Trump by attacking anyone who dares to criticize or mock him. In the late 2018, Owens launched a Brexit movement, a social media campaign to encourage African Americans, as well as Latinos and other minorities, to leave the Democrats and become registered as Republican voters. This is a picture of her. She's an author. She's an activist. She speaks a lot at Congress. She stands up for people, and she really promotes the Republican Party. So I wondered what you thought about the video. So we were talking about Meghan just continues to speak out, and she thinks that she's not controversial. She thinks that anything that she does, that there's nothing wrong with it, that it's not hurting anyone, but clearly the things that she says and the things that she does infuriates so many of us that it's that she shouldn't be acting like she's holier than thou, and she goes and speaks for these different platforms, but she really doesn't do anything to help them, and she just trying to make us all think that she's this wonderful humanitarian when we all know that it's 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, and she's out of there. But I just want to shine a spotlight on that and show that Meghan infuriates people, and this is from the United States. So the video I did yesterday was from Australia. So clearly, she needs to stop getting involved in the things that she's doing. She needs to stop promoting BLM because it's inciting or invoking violence in people and makes them want to go out and do something, but it also makes them not want to be a peaceful protester. But anyway, I just want you guys to see this. Tell me what you think. And if you like this video, I hope that you will like or share or subscribe. Thank you all, and I'll be back with you soon.